My name is Christy Arsenia, and I am the Training and Product Specialist here at Realty Executives International. And today we're going to talk about agent and team websites. We're going to go over how to set those up and then how you can customize those. If you guys have questions throughout the webinar, go ahead and type them into the question box as you think of them. If it makes sense to answer, then I will. Otherwise, I'm going to leave time at the end to answer as well. So we're going to go over why you need a website. And then we're going to talk about team sites and marketing and then on demand. And we're also going to talk about regular agent sites in there. So one of the reasons you need a website is people are looking at the internet. So let's take a look at who is looking at websites, real estate websites. So we're going to look at buyer profiles because the way I think of it is, buyers are obviously looking for an agent. They're also looking for property. The other thing that you want to keep in mind is when you are at a listing presentation, you want to be able to tell your potential sellers that you've done a lot of research into what buyers are looking at and you've kind of catered your website so that it's easy to find information. So the people that are looking right now that are buying homes, the median age is 41, and that's that millennial generation. So 42% of people who are buying homes right now are those millennials. And then Generation X and Generation Z, which are right around that same age. So, that's the age group. And then the median household income is 72,500. And all of these stats are from the Zillow 2018 stats. The other thing I think is interesting is 46% of people who are buying are a first-time home buyer, but 30% of the repeat buyers have only purchased one home before. And you guys know that if you purchase one home and then you wait 10 years and you purchase another home, it's almost like being a first-time home buyer. Real estate changes so much, the rules change, what kind of information you need for a loan changes. So if you look at this, you can almost lump that one home and first-time home buyer a lot of times into that same bucket. So what this tells you is when people are looking at a real estate website, a lot of times they might be looking for information that they would need as a first-time home buyer. So when you're building your sites, you might want to think about what kind of information do you get asked a lot as a real estate agent from those first-time home buyers. And when we get into building your custom web pages later, this might be a good thing to think about. And this is where people are finding the properties. So it's mostly online. And then the next category is that agent and broker. So people might be looking online. I've heard a lot of people say, well, maybe sometime people aren't going to need real estate agent because they've got Zillow. But Zillow is a great starting point. It gets people to think about what they can afford and what kind of stuff is in their neighborhood. But they might find the house online, but they're still looking at that agent and broker for some of the things we'll discuss in a minute. And also, a lot of times it is that agent and broker who is ending up finding that property for them. So what are people looking for in a real estate agent? When you're thinking about building these websites, one of the things that you're doing is kind of selling yourself. People want to understand, obviously, what the market is like and what the area is like, but they also want to get to know you a little bit. So the most important factors in selecting an agent, according to the Zillow poll, was honesty and trustworthiness, agent experience, reputation, agent is a friend or family member, and then knowledge of the neighborhood. So having a really good website can help you with 4 of these. Obviously, nothing's going to help you if you're not a friend or family member, but you can convey that honesty and trustworthiness. Obviously, you can convey your experience. And then reputation, that's the best way to convey that reputation is not only talking about your experience, but also having other people come and add reviews to your website. And then knowledge of the neighborhood, that's huge. When people are thinking about moving, they want to know all the information about the neighborhood they're looking at. So they want to know about the school districts. They want to know about parks and recs and all kinds of stuff like that. They want to know what they're moving into. So your website can be a great place to lay out all of the knowledge that you have about a neighborhood. Also, 74% of buyers use an agent. So most people are not finding these homes and doing all this work on their own. They're using an agent. And how buyers are finding their agent, referrals are going to be really important, but you guys already know that. And referrals, you can still get a lot of stuff from your website, even if you get a referral, because somebody might say, you know what, I really had great luck using Corey, but here's her website, look her up. Let's see if you like her website. So they're giving that person your name, but they might go and try to learn a little more about you. And then the website here, and this is not just your own agent site. This is like a Zillow site, realtor.ca, realtor.com, that kind of thing. And then you can see that it goes down from there. So let's kind of jump in to these websites. I'm going to go into PrimeAgent and show you guys where you can find everything. And I'll show you the things you really need to focus on when you're customizing these agent sites. So I'm going to start with agent site, and then I'll move on to team. The other thing you should know is the agent site and the team sites, a lot of the way you manage them is exactly the same. There are a couple other things that are different on a team site. So I will show you the differences between an agent site and a team site in just a moment, but a lot of the same stuff is gonna follow over to the team. So from your PrimeAgent home dashboard, you're going to be able to manage everything on your website from this marketing tab. But there are a few things that pull from your PrimeAgent account directly to the website for you. My PrimeAgent's going to be a little slow this morning. So hopefully you guys are in PrimeAgent, and hopefully you've done some of the stuff I'm going to show you guys how to do in just a second. Let's jump over to my presentation for just a second. So the first thing we're going to talk about, and I'll show you how to do this in PrimeAgent, is your profile. So why do you need a great profile? You need to build your brand. You need to show your hyper-local expertise, and it has SEO benefits. So building your brand does take time. It does take repetition. People need to understand that when they see your name and they start to associate it with the neighborhood that you specialize in, or maybe you're the person who really works well with foreclosures. So you want them to associate foreclosures with your name. Hyperlocal expertise is going to be one of the most important things you need to do on your site, because in order to really gain people's trust and to let them understand how much you know about the neighborhood, they're going to have to see that. So by posting things on your site that talks about local schools or different things in the neighborhood or upcoming events, that's going to help solidify that hyperlocal expertise. So how do we do this? So the first thing you need to do is gather your information, and that includes your skills, your specialties, your areas served, your years of experience, any awards and accolades, and then testimonials and reviews. So I'm going to show you where you can put all of this stuff on the website. So in PrimeAgent, a lot of this stuff is done when you guys were originally set up. But if you are thinking about using an agent site, just take the time to go through and make sure all of this stuff is still correct, because this is going to be something that you're sharing on your social media, that you're sending an email about. So you want to make sure all of this data is correct. So take a second, go into your PrimeAgent and go to My Account, My Profile, and just double check that all this information is correct. So your first name, your last name, the display name. So if your first name is Joseph and you'd rather go by Joe, that's where you'd add this display name. And then your phone number is really key. So you can see where it says show on profile website. You can have your home phone number in here, your fax number, all of that stuff in here for your broker or your own information. But you need to make sure that the ones you want to show up on the website are checked. Show on profile website. and you can see that you have the option of direct phone, home phone, and mobile phone. You can have all of these and voicemail. You can have all of these show up on your website if you so choose. It might be easier just to have one phone number, but just make sure it's the phone number that is the easiest to reach you at. And then once you finish setting up this website, be sure to come in and fill this in here. If you're using any of our email marketing, or if someone goes to the Realty Executives International homepage, you want to make sure that they have an easy way to click your site. And there are links built into our marketing stuff that say visit my site, and it's going to bring them to whatever you have filled in here. If you don't have anything filled in here, that button won't appear. And you obviously are not spending all this time on your site not to have anyone go to it. So make sure that you take the time once you've set up your website to come back and change, put that link here. And then your Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, make sure all of these are updated and they are active. So if you have a Twitter account but you never use it, you might want to leave that one off or start tweeting again, either one. Also, this short bio. This short bio is going to come into play on both the team site and the agent site, so make sure that you fill this out. This is a 600 character little box. It's mostly for, it's just a little, your elevator pitch. So you can come in and fill this in after you've done your long bio if you'd like, but just make sure that this does get filled in. I'll show you exactly where it goes. So this is an agent site. On this very front page under your picture and information, this is where that short bio pulls through to. So make sure you get all that filled in. The next thing you're going to want to make sure is completed is the My Bio area. So this bio pulls through automatically to your agent site. So make sure that you've got this updated. And the good thing is it's January. So when you think about this, you should go through and update this at least once a year because you have probably sold more, you've got more experience. Hopefully you've won some awards or you've gotten some accolades and that kind of thing. So just keep this updated and make sure it's current so people know that this website is something that you are keeping up on. And also you want to make sure your years of experience is right. Sometimes it's easy to forget about stuff and then before you know it, you have your website saying you've been an agent for 10 years when it's really been 15. So make sure that you're setting an appointment with yourself once a year, once every 6 months to just go through and make any changes that you need to make here. I'm going to send you guys a copy of this recording, but what you might want to do too is, maybe you don't feel like you're a great writer, or maybe you're a brand new agent and you don't have a ton of experience to write about. We actually have a little link that you can click that I'll send you where you can take a survey and then our communications team will write your bio for you. So I'll send you the link to this and you can feel free to go ahead and use this and then we can either send you the bio or we can post it for you into your Prime Agent account. So whatever's easiest, you've got a couple options and then this will really help you out. But make sure you've got this bio and that you're updating it. I recommend doing this even if you're on the fence about getting an agent site with us because what happens is this is from the Realty Executives International site. So if someone goes to that site and they look up an agent, so maybe they know they want to use Realty Executives, but they're not sure which agent they want to use. They might go into Realty Executives International, use our search tool and say, okay, well, I'm looking for an agent in Scottsdale. If they click on your bio or your picture, hopefully you have one, but there's not any information. When they go in, it's going to look like this. And there's not enough information for me to say, you know what, this is the agent I need to use. If you've got the bio filled out, she's got a nice picture here. She's got all of her stuff filled out on the My Profile area. And then she's got her bio here. So that gives the potential buyer or seller enough information that they know they would like to use this agent. So when you're talking about your bio, you want to get this updated. So a couple of other things, you're obviously going to go ahead and put your experience, what you specialize in, neighborhoods, that kind of thing. But also think outside the box. You know, when someone is looking for a real estate agent, they are looking to make that connection. So talk about what made you decide to become an agent. What's your favorite thing about your community? And this is going to come into play in a couple of minutes as well. And then what do you do in your free time? So we'll kind of skip over some of this. So let's go back into Prime Agent. So this is your bio. You're going to take the time to write this, or you're going to have us help you. And on these agent sites, if someone is like, okay, well, this tells me a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and click read more. This page is where your bio shows up. So you can see here, it gives all of that information. So make sure you've got that filled in. So that stuff is just done in Prime Agent. Now you're getting into the actual updating from the website. So if I go to the Marketing tab, under Agent Website Management, then you get to this dashboard. And this is where you're going to control all of the customization on these agent sites. And we'll get into the teams in just a minute, but it's going to look exactly the same here. So the first thing you notice when you come to any site is the background. You know, this is very prominent. And when you turn these sites on, we do have some pre-built backgrounds for you. This is one of them that are pretty basic. You know, you can't really tell what part of the country this is. You know, so we wanted these to be ready to go right out of the box. So the minute you turn it on, you can start using it. But this is completely customizable. You know, the whole point of these websites is to show off your hyper-local expertise. So having these background pictures be specific to where you are helping buyers find homes or helping sellers sell their homes is important. So the first little area here says homepage images. And these are really easy to change. So you've got these homepage images. You can have up to 6. You don't have to have 6, so just up to 6. And what you can do here is just click upload images, find your file. This might be too big, but you get the idea. And then it'll show up here, and then all you need to do is drag it over, save those changes. And then as you can see, if I refresh this page, that change happens right away. So that's your homepage images. The other spots that can be customized here is you've got your footer about section, and some of these are pre-built, you know, and it's easy enough to leave them alone. So about Realty Executives, this is just talking about Realty Executives as a company, but you could change this if you wanted to. Maybe you'd rather talk about your brokerage. You can feel free to do that. Also, this disclaimer at the bottom, this disclaimer works for about 95% of the MLSs out there, but you guys know if you have an MLS that is particular and that you have to have some kind of specific wording in your disclaimer. Under website settings, under customizations, you can change that disclaimer to say whatever you need it to say. The other thing you can customize is this is called the homepage search area. So maybe you specialize in vacation homes. You might want to change this to let's find your dream vacation home. You know, let's find your Scottsdale dream home. Whatever you feel like you want to change it to, go ahead. And then also what's in this search bar can change. So that is the homepage search placeholder. The other thing you can customize is the featured listings area. So I'm going to show you guys how to turn this on, but this carousel will work if you have at least 3 listings, and it'll show up to 20. But maybe you don't have all those listings and you want to use some from your brokerage. As long as you've got the listing agent's permission, you can actually do that. But since they're not your listings, you might want to change this to say our featured listings or, you know, my brokerage's listings, that kind of thing. That can also be changed here. So there's a couple of the things that you can personalize. If you go to the featured listings under the agent website management area, this is where you can control that carousel. So all of your attached listings are going to show up here. And if you just want all of your listings to show up in that carousel, you'll just click this automatically include all my active listings, and you can kind of set it and forget it. As long as you have 3 active ones, that's going to show up. If you ever fall below 3 active, it's just going to make this disappear. So it won't say our featured listings and then have blank. It'll just, this part will go away and it'll go straight into connect with your name now. You can also change them. So if I unclick this automatically include all my active listings, then I can click here and I can actually choose which ones I'd like to feature. If you're featuring a listing from another agent, you just click this add featured listing button, and then you'll just add it by typing in the MLS number. And that is how you get this carousel. You also have the option to turn on your listings tab. So if you have active listings and you want your users to be able to come in and say, okay, I want to look at this person's listings, you can do this. I'm not sure I have any active listings, so this will be interesting. If you don't have active listings, I do recommend turning that page. I do recommend turning that little checkbox off because you don't want people to come into a blank page that says no listings found. So the good thing is if you have listings, you can check this. If you don't, just uncheck it and then it won't be an option in the dropdown. So they won't be able to even see this little area that says Krista's listings. And also you can change the name of that. So if you did want some listings to show up, just like you did with the last ones, you can change this. And then adding reviews, marketing, under the agent website management area, you'll click here and you'll be able to add those reviews just by clicking add review. Add the date, the name, and then the review. When you first get your site, you'll notice that there will not be a little box that says testimonials here. As soon as you add your very first review, that button shows up. It just doesn't want to take them to a blank page. So if you don't see that and you just signed up for our website, don't freak out. That's just because you don't have any reviews yet. So we've been talking a lot about what people are looking for in a website, and I keep bringing up that hyperlocal content. As you can see, these sites, they're really built to be pretty easy to navigate. And you'll see here on the side, there's a little area that says Learn More. You can actually build your own web pages that talk about whatever you want that has to do with either your services or the area that you're serving. So all you need to do is we're still in this dashboard that can be found by clicking Agent Website Management. If I click on Web Pages, you'll be able to see where it says Add Web Page. And then you can add your title and start adding your content. So you might want to do a page about the local schools in your area. You can add, if I click Insert, you can see that you can add videos, images, links. So in the example of a school page that you're building, you might want to insert some links to whatever you're using to grade those schools. So I know greatschools.org is one of those popular sites. So this is not a very pretty page, but you can see here that you can add these links and then people can go to whatever you're looking at. So you can add links, add your photos, add videos. It's really going to be really customizable. And then you can also see, you can talk about the different neighborhoods. You can talk about frequently asked questions. You could add a page that talks about why foreclosures work differently than just buying a house that's on the market. Whatever kind of things you're hearing from your buyers or sellers, just think about that in context of how could I put this on a website? Here's one with some photos and videos in here. The other cool thing about this site is that we've built this to work together. So you keep seeing these little forms on the bottom here. And the way these work is, let's say someone comes to this website, they want to learn more about you, or they're ready to contact you. If they fill out this form, you're going to get the email. It's also going to show up under the CRM My Leads area, and it's also going to create a contact for you in your contact manager. So if you're using another website, you know that you would get the email and the information, but then you have to go through and add that to your contact manager. With the Prime-Agent websites, it automatically does that for you. All you have to do to insert that is just click this Insert Forms button. You can also customize these forms. So you've got the ones that are pre-built, the contact form here. There's one on the selling page, any one of these selling pages. And then if someone fills this out and gets to a property they like, there's also a contact form on that property page. So you've got those pre-built all ready to go on the website. But if you're building your own web pages, you might want to have some specific forms that you've built. So under the Marketing tab, under the Agent Website Management area, you'll see where it says Forms and Campaigns. And then you could just click Create New Form. And what this does is it lets you decide which information you want and which information you want to make mandatory. So for instance, if you create your own What's My Property Worth page, you'd obviously want to make sure that you make their address mandatory. But sometimes people do, like a cell phone, but you wouldn't want to make that mandatory because some people aren't comfortable giving out that cell phone number. So you've got a couple of options there. Sorry. You can also make these forms work for you in that, we've got these campaigns, the drip marketing campaigns. So let's say someone comes to this page, they go to this selling area, and they say, okay, well, I think I'm going to start thinking about selling my house. So I'm going to contact this agent and get some more information. They fill this out. You can actually set it up so that if they come in through this selling lead form, you can actually start them immediately on that campaign by clicking this Change Update Campaigns and Groups. So you could add them to a potential sellers group so that they go into your CRM in that group. And then you can also create, by checking a box, add them to your selling campaign. So they start getting that drip marketing campaign before you even have a chance to follow up with them. Sorry, this page is a little slow. I'm not sure what's going on. So that's really helpful. Like I said, we built this to work together so that when you do get these contacts, you can customize the way they come in so that you're going to have them in the My Leads section. But if you've gone through and set them up so that they do get marked into certain groups as they come into your site, then it makes email marketing a little easier because you know exactly your demographic here. So we've kind of talked about why you need to build these web pages, and then I've gone over how. The other thing you can do is, we can help you here. We've got a great concierge team. If you're in Prime-Agent and Prime-Agent is working for you, there's a little area here that says Chat with Us, and they can help you with everything from, if you need help coming up with some bio stuff, if you want help entering your contacts, that kind of thing. They'll also help you build web pages. So if you know that you are looking to build a web page that has to do with your local schools, for instance, but you don't really know where to get started, Concierge is happy to help you get started, happy to give you some suggestions, and they can really help you out here. So don't feel like if you're overwhelmed and this feels like too much work, just pick a subject, start there, and then ask Concierge. They're happy to help you. You can also, if you come to the website, you'll also see that there's a blog function. So blogs are another really good way to keep in touch with your clients, because this is another great place for hyperlocal information. You can talk about summer activities. You can talk about the holiday stuff that's coming up. You can talk about that new neighborhood that's being built that everyone's curious about. And that's the kind of stuff that comes up on a Google search. So blogs are great for, upcoming activities, stuff that kind of changes a lot. So you'd want to use your web pages when you're building school information, neighborhood information, things that don't change a ton. And then your blogs can be used for stuff like summer activities, or if you just went to a great new restaurant and you're trying to maybe build a list of the best pizza places in your neighborhoods. That is the kind of thing that you could use this blog for. And the blog can be found in this dashboard under the blog. And it works the exact same way the web pages work. So if I click add new post, you'll see that it looks almost exactly the same. And you can insert that video, images, links, all of that stuff that you need to go ahead and get in there to make it interesting. So I'm going to go into the team site for just a minute to show you the differences. All of the stuff I showed you will work exactly the way it was shown here on the team site, but you do have a couple of additional files that I want to show you guys if you're on a team site. And one of the important things about the team sites is that for this to work and look as good as it can look, you need to make sure that all of the agents on the team have gone through to that My Account area and filled in that short bio, because the short bios pull from the My Account page here. And they also should make sure that their bios are filled out, because if someone clicks on that specific agent, they're going to see their bio. So make sure that's done for each team member. I'm going to log into the team account here. And this is all under the same area. So under marketing, I'm going to go down to team website management. So you can see, the background picture can be changed just like it can in the agent site. You will notice here there's a little area called agents. And this is going to kind of give you a little preview of all of the agents in that team. And then if I go to the About page, this is where you're going to want to make sure that those short bios are filled in, because as you scroll down, this information pulls from that short bio area of that person individual My Account information area. The other thing about the team site is, even if you have your individual bios written out, you want to make sure you have a team bio under this logged in as a team under the team account team bio, because that's what shows up on the About page for the team sites. So you've got the team bio here, and then you've got the additional agent information here. And if I click see details, this is when you want to make sure that their actual bios are filled out, because you can see here, this one is not filled out and it's not enough information. So you can see here, it's the same buttons. You've got the web pages, blog, customizations, same customizations that you can do on the agent site. And it looks similar, except for the fact that you can then make sure that you have that team photo that shows up. All of the listings pull through for each team member, and then you can feature those on the website as well. So do you guys have any questions? Go ahead and ask. I see somebody asked, is there an additional cost for that? I missed when you asked that question, Mary, so I'm not sure what you were asking about, an additional cost for maybe the campaigns. There is an additional cost for the campaigns that I mentioned, that drip marketing system. If you were to hook that up, it's an additional $10 a month to build those drip marketing campaigns. Oh, she's asking, is there an additional cost for help building the website? There is not an additional cost for that. So if you guys have an agent site, Concierge will help you at no additional cost, with building those sites, finding information for you, there's no cost for that. We just want to make your sites the best they can be. Other questions? Somebody's asking, will there be a link to watch this webinar again? Yes, Beth, I will send a recording of this webinar, and I'm also going to send you guys that link where you can get help with your bio if you want it. So it'll take me a little bit to get this moved over to YouTube, but within the hour, you'll get a copy of this. Any other questions I can help with? It's a ton of information, and I totally understand that. So if you guys get this, watch the recording, you still need help, just reply to the email and I'm happy to help you. We can jump on a call. You know, I'm happy to help really get your website started if you want. Okay, well, if there's no other questions, I will go ahead and let you have the rest of your Thursdays back. Thank you guys so much for joining me this morning and for asking such great questions. I'll send you the recording and feel free to just reply with any questions you have that come up later. Thanks again, you guys. Happy Thursday.